Hello, good people of the internet. This is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo, and this is another card reading for patrons. This time from Michelle, and what we're going to do this time is a 5-card reading, based not loosely, based on the same kind of principle that the 9-card reading is, but in a more simplified form. So Michelle says, November guidance, no direct quest, just want to see what they bring up to consider. So, what is it that Michelle should consider? It's hard to shuffle cards from the bag when you have a camera in front of you. Okay, this seems about right. Healing. Consider healing. Okay, so main crux of this, or the center of it all, at the center of it all is healing. So that's what you should consider this month. Some form of, be that physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, or whatever's left, relationship healing, any of these things. And the advice, what leads to it is kind of, I suppose it's saying with the chase that there's possibly, either an overindulgence of something or an allowance of too much of something. Or, like, overindulgence doesn't mean you have to be out partying every night or feasting every day or overeating constantly or all of those things, but there's something in a sense that you need to pull back and be a bit more kind of pure about, or a bit more focused about, a bit more, not always just giving into the glamour of the situation, the thing, oh, wouldn't it be great to, have a pizza tonight? Wouldn't it be great to not go for my walk tonight? Or whatever, there's some sort of, it's saying, having a bit of discipline with it, having to go, right, even though I don't want to do the dishes, I'm going to do the dishes. Or whatever it is. It's not necessarily saying that you have to have no fun. That's more what I'm saying. It's just focus, and if you're overindulging in some area, to look at that, and to work in that in regards to a healing. So, like, if it is a lack of exercise, not eating healthily, all the standard things, it's to pull back. Even something like, say, if it's a case of, smoking, cigarettes, whatever it would say, just to pull back and have a look at that and have a bit more discipline around the thing. You will know more when you consider what it is that you're meant to be looking at from healing. So the point of you're looking at it from healing is saying the way to have the healing is to be more disciplined. But it's also saying to look in other places than you have previously, to explore, go somewhere, out of your kind of, not necessarily a comfort zone, but look in places where you haven't. If it's a case of that you only ever look to alternative medicine for healing, then look to allopathic medicine for healing. Don't just allow yourself to be bound by what you've already done. If you've never done energy healing, then go do energy healing. If you only ever do energy healing, do something else. Get acupuncture, do something like that. Go to counseling, go to therapy, something that's just more than what you have done. Push just further than what you normally do on what you've done previously with regard to healing. Discipline and widening your kind of thing leads to healing. This is the influence. The discipline leads to healing, and this leads to a widening. What to avoid doing is being complacent about it, or thinking everything is okay, or it's that kind of, I suppose, with the lovers in this context, it's a bit like not putting in the full effort because it's familiar, in the sense of, say you have a client, that's a story I've told before, but my Reiki teacher used to have someone who came to her very, very often, all the time, and she always used to put on her uniform and do the whole thing. And then because it became so familiar with her, she stopped doing that, and then the client went away because she felt that it was the whole interaction had changed, that there wasn't as much effort being put into it. So it's this kind of thing of being complacent about your healing. Don't leave it for another day. Don't leave it for it'll be grand, as to say in Ireland, or anything like that. You need a more active approach to that. I suppose in a sense it's not going to work itself out. It needs some sort of discipline, it needs more information, or needs a new approach. But there's something quite, it could be a bit like, if you're like, with regards to kind of being in your own misery or something like there can be kind of it can be an indulgence in that sometimes, not always, like, but or having an argument with someone in your head. There can be kind of a pleasure in that, whereas it's not good for you at all. But you can kind of, I'll show him or whatever it is, and you play that over and over. There can be an indulgence in kind of negative things, which is just saying to avoid it, not to be complacent about it, to actually do it. The dead is saying that you should look to your previous experiences, or look to people in your family or in your past who've dealt with, similar situations and what they did with it, and how their story or how their thing can teach you something about what's going on for you. I mean, it could be really negative and say that, that that's not negative, but there's when we're talking about healing and then there's the dead, there is a kind of it's something that has to be considered there, but it doesn't kind of feel like it's, because this is the positive. This is what you should be doing. It's not saying you should die. It says something needs to end. That's what there's something that needs to end. Something, you need to stop doing something. And this would line up with the chaste as well. So rather than being complacent, stop it. Something from your past, something that you're possibly indulging in, be that mentally, spiritually, emotionally, that you need to have a bit more discipline around, and look to possibly how others have dealt with this, and particularly in your own family or in your own circle, and see how they did it. So yeah, hope that is helpful to you. The main focus of the reading is that you should consider healing for the month and have a healing month. And good luck with that.